I've been just like taking like in my kind of lunch break in the middle of the day or in the afternoon or late at night and watching, just going through like mostly limited series TV shows. And God, it's been the right time in my life to just get lost in stories, and it's been lovely. And even like we've had a lot of rain, so I can kind of lay on this couch we have that I love, and just like there's a breeze and it's raining, I'm watching my stories, and it's the most lovely thing.
That sounds
great.
awesome.
Oh man, I've blown through so much. Like, it's not even stuff I loved, all of it. But I watched The Regime, which I loved, with Kate Winslet. It's fucking insane. I really recommend that to see her performance, because it's basically like, it's got a real Veep quality to it. Like, there's a point at which she's like, "Oh God, it smells like a pig's urethra in here." I guess a lot of that kind of.
That was actually a pretty good impression.
There's a point at which she's like, "Off you fuck." And there's like some great, like, she's amazing. It's a totally fucked up show. I watched that. I watched Masters of the Air, which like I didn't love as a character show, but I just found it fascinating to kind of like imagine my way into being a kid who's flying a bomber in World War II, and you have like, you know, whatever crazy ass chance of surviving any given mission. Not to mention the fact that we shouldn't have been bombing in the ways that we were most of the time. It's a separate issue. But the problem is, who played Elvis in the Elvis movie?
Austin, what's his face? Yeah.
So he plays like the main character, but I don't know if he was fucking filming Elvis as he filmed this, but I could not stay in the movie because every time he come on, he was like, "Yeah, no, we're going to fly. There's going to be fine. We're going to fly this mission and we're all just going to be fine." And it was like so incredible how he did not shed Elvis. Either that or he just is that person. What else? I'm watching Dark Matter on Apple TV, and I love that. And then I finished one other one. I can't remember even the name, but anyway, just going through them, and like I kind of love limited series. That they aren't all limited series, but most of those are.
Right.
I just love that feeling, like when it's over, you're not like, "Oh fuck, I gotta wait 2 years." It's just a nice, satisfying feeling, like when you close the book at the end of reading. So anyway, that's been nice to do. It relates
unless it's Big Little Lies, and then they're like, "Oh, it's a limited series,"
which I never watched. Yeah, right.
The first season is actually incredible. The second season, not as good, even though they had Meryl Streep. Honestly, because like the author of the book had to like write the script. Like no one was expecting to do it again. It was such a huge success. They're like, "Oh, we have to make more of this." Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Oh, and the other one I watched, what is it called? It's the Apple TV show with Colin Farrell. That takes a really ridiculous turn in the last 3 episodes, but he's basically like a like LA noir type character. And I love watching detectives more than I love watching journalists in movies, but I like it for the same reason. And I loved his style of being a detective. It was like, I loved it almost like close to how much I loved Columbo, but I wouldn't compare the two because Columbo is just a massive, incredible thing that was created.
What was the Colin Farrell one called?
What's it called? It's recent. It's Colin Farrell and also the woman that was in The Wire, who was a cop in The Wire for a season out on the docks. I hope somebody's searching it because I'm being lazy.
I'm looking right now.
Okay. But first of all, Colin Farrell.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Yeah. I loved it. I hated the turn it took, but I loved it. And Colin Farrell also just has features that are like my brother. And so I like watching him. But anyway, that's all. That was nice. But it leads me to on our sort of agenda here in our show notes. I had one really stupid thing I wanted to say, and it fits right in with this. And I just need to say it out loud because my kids are just tired of hearing me observe shit like this. I fucking hate CGI headlights. So like I'm picturing, I was watching The Regime, and it's happened in Masters of the Air too, where it's like an overhead shot and there are cars driving, but like the headlights are obviously CGI, and it looks so dumb. It almost looks half the time like they're disconnected. And you guys are making me crazy. Pulls me out of the story. I'll tell you what it does.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never
totally
noticed
do.
This before.
You know what I'm talking about, Christina? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just fucking, I can't stop seeing it. And it's probably not even always real, but it makes me crazy. That's all.
Now I'm gonna see.
I felt like this was a safe space, and I could.
No, it totally is. Those don't bother me as much, but there's some things like that have the same effect where like it'll
smoke,
take me out of it.
Breath, just all of that too.
Smoke is one of those that bothers me. Breath.
Yeah.
You don't see as much. Although when you see it, it's almost always like painted in.
Yeah,
at
and
this
it's
point.
like the mouth is here, but why is it anyway?
Right, totally. And you're like, I
You
understand.
can't fool a Minnesotan.
Well, I was gonna say, I was like, I understand that you're filming this in Atlanta, where it is never cold enough to actually capture someone's breath. However, you know,
Right.
and you're trying to like look like you're, you know, someplace much colder.